we're having an issue with phone overheating, and it's just cutting stuff out. So if you see a video and it's ending for and it ends and it's like it just automatically cuts out because the power of the phone died. Sometimes when we've gone back on, that video is not there because we didn't end it properly and hit share, and there's a share or delete option at the end of these videos. So we can figure out some of the issues or dealing with that. Now, we had a main core team that went in, and they did training today, basically a learning class with experts, Ron Thompson. And they're with the Oracle Neighborhood Watch, just so you know. And when VOP first came out here, and they found out that we were going in the south side of Tucson, right in the middle of all the gangs, behind one of the most dangerous parks, and that we were going to set up a fob for homeless vets, they came out and they did patrols with us. They came out and showed a lot of our guys and taught them when we're going through doing these park patrols, the individuals that are armed, like they've never failed us. And if we apply the information and the things they're telling us, they'll make us better, and that's a proven fact. So the fact that we have some expert, and these are people who spent decades in law enforcement. These are experts in their field. And the fact that they're coming up and doing everything they can so we can run a safe and legal operation shows that God's doing everything he can to protect us. So we're taking all that knowledge, all that information, and it's being applied. Now, of course, we are aware of the rumors and the threats, and they're getting ready to try to come and arrest Alpha Team and shut down our operation and everything. Look, we don't care. In the event, you can come and arrest me and my team. We know what we'll do. Okay, we already have. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I know my rights. So if something like that was to happen, it doesn't matter. We have enough people scattered out on land, on private properties. This mission doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop no matter what they do. It's just too big. There's too many organizations, and they don't even know where the hell we are. We've done a very good job at concealing all these other places we are. You know, this isn't just VOP. There are other groups down here, and you don't see them on Facebook. You don't see them doing live videos. You don't see them having to be transparent because they don't have to convince their people of what's going on. They've been down here for decades, and they know what's going on. But now they got support. So everything's going good the way it is. Those coordinates, and we got, of course, so you know, QAnon is in the house now. And we've got other people that are in here. We've got some pretty major teams that are coming in. Everyone that's en route, come in and come out. And if you see the government come in and try to arrest any of my team or myself and put a stop to what we're doing, and we're providing this free service, and we're doing everything we can to train and keep our people, if you see them coming in and try to stop us, I want to look at whatever pawns. You look at whatever pawns they use to try to stop us. Because there is a revolt down here on the border, which is why we're trying to call people. There are good ranchers that are exposing the corrupt ranchers. And the problem with the corrupt ranchers is we got a heart for them. Okay, there's been droughts. They can't run their cattle. The BLM seals off land sometimes. They can't even make a living. Well, some of these ranchers have gotten desperate, and the government that wouldn't help them, the government that let them abandon down here with the cartels, they've decided that they were going to go ahead and get in bed with the cartels because they got their own women and children to feed, and they're not getting no help. So people are making they're making bad decisions out of desperation, where if they would have had his support, they would have been honest and good ranchers. So we do know that there's some groups down here, and they don't want us, especially some of these major ranchers that we're parked right next door, some of these properties that God put us in the middle of. Anyone that's coming out to our fob will walk you over about 50, 75 yards. You'll be able to see 2 human trafficking corridor stash houses marked. That was found on a live video, and now they can't use them no more. Us being in that valley is effectively hurting their income. So now you're going to have some that are going to come out, and they're going to do everything they can to try to get us arrested. They're going to do everything they can to say that, oh, their property rights are being violated. No. When you let the cartel in your back door and you don't secure your property and they're moving little kids through there, you don't have no property rights at that point. You put our city, our neighbors, and all of our children in danger. And we're sorry the government hasn't helped you. But every rancher down here, instead of fighting with your neighbors, all the brave ones that are standing up and you see the effect we're having, all you got to do is cross back over to the side that you were forced out of. And you were only forced out of there out of desperation because you had no help. Okay, and I'm telling you something. There's no one in our organization that expects anyone to be perfect. I'm the poster child for that. God can forgive everybody. God can forgive and protect everybody. But we're not going anywhere. And those ranchers that are cooperating are going to have those protections to put in place. And it's best just to put a nonsense. So this message is specifically out to the ranchers that are out in the area. You know, a lot of these trails, your fellow neighbors will take them out on horseback ride and show exactly where they're cutting up through your private property. And you don't have posted signs at certain ends of your property, and your coyotes are moving through there. But your main access gates, you'll have posted signs and everything else. But you won't have a 360 perimeter sealed. You'll have an area where the coyotes and everyone else are coming in, and you know we're gonna stop it. It ain't happening no more. We're looking specifically. We're droning specifically. There are so many stash houses out here in this corridor we're at, and remember, we're just on probably about 0.001% of the border of the area we got to cover. And just right here in this nest, it is amazing how many cleaning projects we got to get done, how many areas we got to keep secured. You know, it's crazy. This is how big the problem is. And the more we expose it, the more you're going to have people try to come out and say, oh, Lewis is, he's crazy, he's mental, he's making all this up, all these people are following him, they're believing this hype. You're going to hear them use every expert they can to go out and discredit the person, but you won't hear them stand up on a podium and tell you all their numbers that prove for a fact that child sex trafficking is occurring down here. Human trafficking is occurring down here. Dope smuggling is occurring down here. They won't talk about all those numbers they have that aren't true numbers. They're they're minimized. Those numbers aren't the actual numbers. They won't tell you all the evidence they have that gives us the ability that we got a responsibility. If the government can't take care of us and secure the border and keep our kids safe down here, then it's our job. So we're proving the government right. Everything we go out there proves they're not lying to you. The government's not lying to you. Children are being trafficked across this corridor. Sex camps are across this corridor. Rape trees are across this corridor. Dope smuggling is across this corridor. And it's not just this corridor, it's everyone else. Corporations and private ranchers and private property owners are assisting the cartels, and they've made a huge ring, and they're just like, we need like 1,000 people. We need like 1,000 people just to man the heights and the corridors that they're using right now just to cover our state and to build an official safety perimeter, a perimeter they cannot cross through. Can't use our state no more. You got to go over to California or New Mexico or Texas because we're going to secure our backyard. And bodies out here is the best way to do it. All right? And there have been several people. There's been people who's driven all the way down here and they've been turned around and they've gone back. Because if you can't get through the homeless veterans here, the people that are here that are screening for you guys where you need to first meet before you come out to our fob, you're not coming. All right? And they know what an agenda is. You can't con those guys. They know. They know. And, you know, we're screening that way. And we're not going to apologize for people. If you come out and do something stupid and you put our team at risk or you violate a law, guess what? You're gone. We know how to stay within the laws and to get in the properties and search. We know how to stay within those laws. And there are plenty of areas, because they have to let illegals cross through, that these private properties don't have areas where they're no trespass on the backside. And all you got to do is follow the coyote trails. And we're following the coyote trails, and they're taking us into all these abandoned properties. The only place they're posted is by the front gates. And some of these abandoned properties have cameras running through it. And you can go through with some of the videos you got, and you can see where the cartels are having their spotters watch windows, where there's little kids' rooms set up, where little children are being held, where they got guard towers with ladders going up. None of this stuff is made up. None of this stuff is made up. But they're good ranchers that's got our back, and they're coming out there, and they're putting us everywhere we need to be. And they're not afraid no more. So to the bad ones, you can do whatever you want. You can get in and work with the government and try to shut us down every way you can. But if you're allowing illegal trafficking to come through your property, we're following them, and we're going to make sure they're not carrying any little kids. And God forbid we find any of them on your property, because we got evidence of several already recorded, documented, and filmed that it's been happening. And all we're doing is following the black jugs, the discarded camo netting clothes, the Mexican shoes, and they're fresh. They're not old. And we're following them right up into these territories. And we're following the trucks and the turnaround marks. And there's unique markers all around where they know where a safety corridor is. So, have you guys finished up with what you're doing here? Ron, Stuart, you guys come in here for a minute. They came down. Yeah, okay. Can you pretty much your assessment of what's going on right now? just your honest assessment from the outside, from the information you have. That's it.
Right now, based on everything we've heard and seen, I can tell you is there is a lot of information that needs to be followed up on. There's been a lot of contradiction, conflict in various stories. Part of the local law enforcement entities, media, and we're attempting to establish different facets of the investigation. So we got a lot more to do. There's a lot here.
Do you think the Veterans on Patrol, with what they found, do you think that we have enough to justify going on a statewide search and rescue on our border for kids?
I would say that whatever you're doing, you need to continue doing, because this is a major problem in our country. And it seems to me that what you're discovering needs to be discovered, and it needs to be brought out and looked at as to what end, as to what the results may end up being. I cannot guess, but what I can tell you is that a lot of impropriety and a lot of stuff that doesn't look right, so we're going to continue checking into it.
Now, you're offering for whenever we see a scene, if no one wants to come out to help, that you guys can come out, and you're all prior law enforcement and you know how to do that. So we're okay with handing the scene over to you guys in the event that we can't get the authorities to come out there.
If you deem you have something that you feel is of a criminal nature and you can't get local law enforcement to respond, you can contact our group and we will come out and make a determination if it's of value.
Awesome. This is Stuart Rhodes of the Oath Keepers. So you came out here, and so what's your what you've seen since you've been out here so far?
Well, as Ron was saying, we want to make sure that everything is looked at, and they're taking their time. They're going to look at things. We already have been interviewing witnesses and looking at everything very closely and very carefully to make sure that nothing's left unturned. And so, you know, they're kind of like Columbo. You know, they'll take their time and they're nice and slow, and they don't look like, you know, they're pretty unassuming, but they're old hands at this. So let them have the time to do their work. The backdrop is, we were at the Chilton Ranch last night, met him and his lovely wife. The backdrop is we have a systemic catastrophic problem on the border in Arizona. You have rampant neglect of duty on the border, to be blunt. They let us know that the Border Patrol doesn't even patrol the border on their property. They instead patrol, what, 19 miles north? What's that? 20 miles north on a highway. They're afraid to go down on the border, to be blunt. You know, they're out there by themselves, and we've had Border Patrol killed. So the backdrop is we got a massive conduit of criminal cartel activity they're carrying on here in the United States, just like they do in Mexico. And the children let us know that they really live in Mexico, basically. Their ranch is in Mexico. And so it's systemic. And you got a problem here in Tucson with the chief of police being an open borders guy. You've got him holding a Black Lives Matter sign, him instructing his men not to enforce SB 1070. You know, when Arizona stepped up to enforce immigration laws when the Obama administration would not, he told his men don't help their own state. And he also instructed his men not to work with the Border Patrol. So we know there's good officers in Tucson PD. Our local guys know some of them. They're good people. But they're starting to leave the force because they're frustrated. So there's a problem at the top. And so given that backdrop and given the obvious legacy of the cartels of offering silver or lead wherever they go and taking over political systems, and given the fact that you got a town council that's declared this a sanctuary city essentially, and a hostile county government, we don't take anything that they say as gospel. So our guys are going to look themselves. They're going to take their time. We don't like what we see out there in independent media. Everyone just kind of jumping around, declaring this to be nothing but a fake story. We're going to look and find out for ourselves, and we're not going to let that influence us.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Got a question?
No, sir. I'm going to end this, guys. We got to get back to work.
All right. You gonna come over with that? We're
over here at our UPS store. It's been a crazy day out there. We are still getting a lot of work done. We did training earlier for our guys. For those of you that just now catching up, my entire Facebook has been disabled, shut down. What we've done is we've set up a YouTube to do live streaming. You'll see a link to that. We've got a video of a combat vet and one of his battle buddies, another veteran. They were actually showing a woman. She got a shot in AR for the first time out at the shooting range that's established at Camp Pulaski. And it's really neat. She never ever got to see a gun. She had all these misconceptions about a gun, and it was just, I don't know, it's pretty amazing. So that's the first video. It's a test video, and we'll be doing the live streams from YouTube. We'll see how that platform works. I'm not going to sit here and play games with Facebook. Don't really care. Don't need them. We have ways to get the information out through Facebook. So right now we're getting ready to come into UPS store. Wow, man. Yep. All right, we'll get it moved out. We're trying to get it to where we only have to come here once a day now. But we'll get everything set up. We're going to head over to Camp Pulaski from here with the supplies. Thank you guys for everything that you're doing. We got work to do. Oh, you were the one who got to fire an AR for the first time. What was that like?
I got what?
When you got to fire a rifle for the first time.
Oh, yeah, that was very stimulating. It kept me up till midnight. It was awesome because I had awesome teachers. Yeah, that was key. 2 guys, very patient with me because it's intimidating for me, you know. I know some people want to get up and do it like 100 more times, and I'm like, I'm good. So thank you for the opportunity, Lewis. I really appreciate it. And also, you know, I'm in good hands here, right? Yep, I'm so protected because somebody said something, you know, one of those comments from some not nice person that I was a fool for being out here. I'm no fool, right? Wake up, America. You're the fools if you don't frickin' wake up. That's foolish.
Amen.
Thanks.
There you have it. We got to get back to work, and we'll get you guys updated. We'll have the links to the YouTube channel going so we can still do live video feeds. And we're pushing. Coming up in a few days is another class just dealing with private properties and public lands, Indian reservation borders and everything. This is to get our team comprised of where all the boundaries are and the areas that we're searching, and to make sure that they stay legal at all times possible. So the search and rescue continues, and we're doing good. Head on.
All right. You gonna come out with that?
We're over here at our UPS store. It's been a crazy day out there. We are still getting a lot of work done. We did training earlier for our guys. For those of you that just now catching up, my entire Facebook has been disabled, shut down. What we've done is we've set up a YouTube to do live streaming. You'll see a link to that. We've got a video of a combat vet and one of his battle buddies, another veteran. They were actually showing a woman. She got a shot in AR for the first time out at the shooting range that's established at Camp Pulaski. And it's really neat. She never ever got to see a gun. She had all these misconceptions about a gun, and it was just, I don't know, it's pretty amazing. So that's the first video. It's a test video, and we'll be doing the live streams from YouTube. We'll see how that platform works. I'm not going to sit here and play games with Facebook. Don't really care. Don't need them. We have ways to get the information out through Facebook. So right now we're getting ready to come into UPS store. Wow, man. Yep. All right, we'll get it moved out. We're trying to get it to where we only have to come here once a day now. But we'll get everything set up. We're going to head over to Camp Pulaski from here with the supplies. Thank you guys for everything that you're doing. We got work to do. You were the one who got to fire an AR for the first time. What was that like?
I got what?
When you got to fire a rifle for the first time.
Oh, yeah, that was very stimulating. It kept me up till midnight. It was awesome because I had awesome teachers. Yeah, that was key. 2 guys, very patient with me because it's intimidating for me, you know. I know some people want to get up and do it like 100 more times, and I'm like, I'm good. So thank you for the opportunity, Lewis. I really appreciate it. And also, you know, I'm in good hands here, right? Yep, I'm so protected because somebody said something, you know, one of those comments from some not nice person that I was a fool for being out here. I'm no fool, right? Wake up, America. You're the fools if you don't frickin' wake up. That's foolish.
Amen.
Thanks.
There you have it. We got to get back to work, and we'll get you guys updated. We'll have the links to the YouTube channel going so we can still do live video feeds, and we're pushing. Coming up in a few days is another class just dealing with private properties and public lands, Indian reservation borders and everything. This is to get our team comprised of where all the boundaries are and the areas that we're searching, and to make sure that they stay legal at all times possible. So the search and rescue continues, and we're doing good. Head on out.